So I wanted to just mention something about the move. We moved in on, I think it was March 1st. We were basically the last group in. So we really didn't have much time in the campus before the virus hit, and then we had to work from home ever since. But I wanted to mention a little bit about what it's like. We have to take a bus in now, which I've never done before. It's actually a private shuttle. But the idea is that they pick us up and they drive us into the bus depot, and it kind of comes down this little road here, turns into the bus depot, and then that's where the bus parks, and then we jump out of the bus, and then we come across the bridge, and then we go into the building right there. So that's kind of what it looks like in terms of how we arrive and get into the building. So that's kind of cool. I kind of liked this footage of the waterfront. Of course, you can see the Space Needle there a little bit in the background. I'll try to label it. And then the rest of this going down to more towards downtown is pretty nice, I thought. It was a cloudy day, but it still came out pretty well. So the waterfront, of course, has a million attractions you can see. I'll point out just a couple. Right here you can see the Victoria Clipper. That is a great little trip you can take up to Vancouver Island, the city of Victoria, and we've been there a few times. It's really great. You can see coming up here is the Bell Harbor Marina. When we owned our boat, we stayed there a number of times. That's fun. And then just to the right there, you can see the Ferris wheel, which I've never been on, but it's supposed to be great. Okay, so after we finished flying around in Centennial Park, then we went and we drove over to Alki Beach Park, which is all the way on the other side of Elliott Bay. So then I was off on a mission to go and try and take pictures of a ferry coming out of Seattle going over to Bainbridge. So that's pretty much what I did. So I fast forwarded over the flight over to Seattle where the ferries come out. And then you can see here, this is where we were filming from before. And then I stopped here and I just kind of did a slow 360 degree panorama. Well, whatever. I spun around 360 degrees. And you can see there's Elliott Bay, and then farther on back is the larger Puget Sound, which is what Elliott Bay is part of course. And then you can see Alki Beach Park, which is at the end of Alki there, and that's where I'm flying from. So I'm pretty far away. I think people forget a lot that Seattle is the port of Seattle. So it's not just the huge city Seattle, it's a port. And you can see right here that this is some of the cranes and the holding bins for oil and all the stuff that comes into the port of Seattle. And then in the back you can see the stadiums. We have Mariners playing here, we have Seahawks playing here. Pretty good sized city, really. Boy, I really kind of like this shot. I was flying the drone manually and I was just kind of flying it left while I was pointing at the ferry, and I got the skyline and the Space Needle in the background, and I'm just kind of keeping up with the ferry, and kind of like this. That's a pretty picture. Sometimes the hardest part about making these videos is cutting out footage, because you just like the way it looks and it's kind of pretty and you spend a lot of time getting it, but you kind of have too much and it's maybe becoming not interesting. But anyway, I hope you guys aren't too bored with this, but I kind of like these shots. So anyway, it is what it is.